Hello again, Doc on the Clock with more Starlight Island Adventure by Gamma V. We head to Tidal Temples 1. Whoa! Why did I do that? I just overwrote my cape. I didn't want to overwrite my cape. I wanted that cape. Well, fire will be fine for now. Okay. Those blocks have no lasting power to them at all, so I need to make sure that I'm watching where I'm landing because I will not be able to jump off of them. Ow. It's very rude. If you want to run your marathon, go ahead and do so, but don't barge into people. Like some crumbly blocks, you'll bounce off of. But these ones do not appear to have any bounce to them. I thought I might have seen something up there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go back and check. Oh! That was quite the jump there, asking me to do. I'm not sure what the point of that crumbler up there was. 2 coins hardly seems worth it. And for some reason, I feel like those arrows aren't going to be able to be jumped on, so I'm not trying. I might be wrong, but at this point, I don't really need to test. Doesn't seem like it's worth it, because if I'm wrong, I lose a hit. If I'm right, I don't really gain anything. I do respect your presence, at least. Well, they can't be fireballed. They don't even look like they have a hitbox. So jumping on them seems like an especially bad idea. That went fairly well. Tidal Temples 2. Looks like we're going back underwater. I particularly need the fire flower, but as long as it's there, might as well get it. Torpedo Ted. Ah. Sometimes you can just tell. I'm hearing this song a fair bit recently. Because it's from Wario Land 2, and both Raukau and Faltos are playing Wario Land 2 at the time that I'm recording this. Very odd when you have like 2 playthroughs of the same game that you're watching at the same time. Even odder if you have like 3 or 4, which is kind of also what I have, because at the current point in time, actually I'm watching, I think, or I have at least ready to watch, at least 5 different playthroughs of Make a Good Mega Level 2 contest, and that's not including the one that I'm actually making at the current time myself. In order to, you know, severely date this video. that kind of gets you sometimes confused about what you've seen played by one person versus another. So I might watch a video, I'm like, didn't I already watch this one? And it'll be like, oh no, I watched it for this person, but not this person. But you might be wondering, why are you bothering watching like that many different playthroughs of a good Mega Man level contest too? Because I want to see how people respond to the levels, including my level. I like the idea of potentially getting, you know, feedback. Although I've gotten plenty of feedback at this point, to be sure. But you know, there's always other perspectives to get. I didn't say very much about that level in particular, but there wasn't really that much to say. It was torpedoed heads, essentially. Tidal Temple 3 is also waterlogged, but looks like that we're going to be above the water this time, or at least partly above the water. And we have more of the arrow shooters. Arrow firing traps, arrow or dart firing traps, or spear firing traps are such a common trope in ruin and labyrinth type areas. Is there any actual precedent for that? Are there any actual ruins that have ever been discovered that have working, or heck, even non-working arrow or spear traps? Or dart traps? Because I feel like that's one of those. Motifs that is wholly an invention and has just become so widespread that people just assume that it has a basis in reality. Because it seems odd to me that you would run into. I mean, it seems odd to me that you'd run into anything in an old derelict temple or ruin from an ancient civilization that worked, period, but a working trap to keep out intruders? I mean, most of the buildings that exist in these types of things are not there to keep out intruders. They're there for... They were there for the function of people to be in and worship and those sorts of things. So, I mean, the very concept of there being some sort of spear trap like that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense in the first place. I know it was done in Indiana Jones. I just have a hard time believing that that was the first time it was done. I mean, they had to get the idea from somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's a I know it's a common thing in like D&D stuff as well, and probably a number of other ruins-based things. Tomb Raider, maybe? I've never played Tomb Raider in my life, so I don't know anything about it. But yeah, if anyone knows anything about that, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I am legitimately curious. Also, there's like some let for when you enter the water that you don't lose your speed. That's a very odd thing. I don't dislike it. It actually feels kind of cool, but it also doesn't feel quite like Super Mario World water, unless I'm completely misremembering something. But Super Mario World always felt like when you entered water, you kind of lost your momentum pretty quickly. Like, as in, borderline instantly. Oh, this song... I have heard it before. I don't remember where it's from. Oh. Okay. The giant boulders I know are a reference to Indiana Jones. That's one of the rare things that I actually know about Indiana Jones, too. I don't know a whole lot about Indiana Jones either. I know of the intro sequence of one of those movies that had a lot of him going through a lot of the traps and running from the boulder. I've also seen that parodied 100 billion times, so that's part of why I know it. And I know that Raiders of the Lost Ark final climax sequence gave me nightmares for a little while. Look, guy's face is melting off was not kind to 9-year-old me, okay? Now, I know that there's definitely references to, I don't know how much is real and how much is fictional from these. Like, the boulder traps seem pretty wholly invented, so do the arrow traps. But maybe they have a basis in reality? I don't know. However, I'm pretty sure that, platforms floating in midair is entirely a Mario thing. Just pretty sure about that. And I'm not going to say with 100% certainty that the ancient Mayans or someone didn't invent anti-gravity, but it seems rather unlikely to me. Whoa. I was trying to leap to that, and yet I wasn't prepared to leap to that. So it feels like I've been taking this super slowly. Rock is very dangerous. Well, I have nothing other than bigness, but bigness should at least get me a little ways through the next castle. It's been 14 minutes. It seems kind of anticlimactic to leave this off without the castle, though, so let's throw caution to the wind. We have Larry's castle. And there is definitely something different about the surface of the water in this game. Definitely. I can feel it. What it is not helping me play any better. But, some days there's just no hope for me. Okay, I was predicting that one to go sideways. That's why. I need to actually go get a power-up or two. Or remember where this is power up right at the start of the stage, though. Right here. Alright. That extra momentum can be a little bit problematic in certain spots. Okay. The key here is I need to wait until the water goes down. Because I really just don't have the momentum against the tide. Okay, this one's an anti-gravity thwomp. Now I need to wait. There is no getting over this. I'm just gonna make myself nice and dizzy before I go forward. You know, just to give myself a little bit of an extra added challenge. Oh man, yeah. It's pretty obvious that something unusual is afoot with the water here. It's like the surface doesn't slow you down at all. It's only once you get down a little bit that you actually experience some speed drop. I was holding down there. I did not want the high hop. Alright, I've already taken 2 hits. I need to be careful. I don't want to take 2 more. You can see slight differences between the spikes that fall and the spikes that don't. The spikes that don't extend a little bit up further into the block. That said, I still need to actually look and pay attention and all that. Because if I don't look or pay attention, I'm going to get nailed by them anyway, no matter whether you can see the difference or not. Unfortunately, paying attention has not always been one of my strongest suits. As we know, I have a tendency to miss things, sometimes very obvious things. And I was accidentally pressing down there, so I didn't spin, and it's tide rising here. There's no real point to it. Alright, whoa! Okay. I need to not be hit by the green flames. I'm pretty sure I've fought a variant of this guy, too. I don't remember in which game. Although I remember him being somewhat harder in that one. Alright, well that was a little bit longer of a video than I intended, but I think it makes more sense to finish off World 7 in one go if I'm already at the castle. That's all for me for now. Until next time, this is Doc. I'll see you later.